Hi, welcome back to Live and Breathe Horses. It is a very wet day today, which, to be fair, is one of the first ones, so can't complain about that. So that's why we're inside. We managed to get a little bit of exercise in between showers actually, not before the rain, in between showers. So Biscuit hasn't had an update on his story for ages. So there's the rain. You see Umo's coming in and out the other door. I've got little Bing is standing here being very patient because he's got a bit of a sore leg, and that's another story. So what are we up to, me and Morisco? Well, we've all settled in. He had a good journey over. He's now in his teens and he does have a touch of arthritis, which can be absolutely fine and some days just a little bit ouchy. So he really needs to move. He also puts on weight easily, and of course here now it's spring and the green grass is growing. I'm very aware of keeping him exercised as much as possible. So what are we working on, Biscuit? When he was a stallion, I was determined to get the groundwork and the work in hand, and it wasn't going that well. I was not in a good place, and he was a very dominant, opinionated stallion. And that's not why I had him gelded though, because by the time I had him gelded, he'd actually calmed down a lot and he was fine. But it was more about simplifying my life and about mares in season always coming around bothering us. So he, with the groundwork, does more or less everything. So it's not about the what, it's more about the how. So that's what we're working on. So now he's making that face because Umo's standing there, and it's quite fine. He can tell Umo to stay over in his bit of the yard so he doesn't come round the corner here and bother little Bing, because that wouldn't be any good, would it, Biscuit? So we're really paying a lot of attention to the expression. How can we get him working more happily and with a nicer expression? So this is very important because, well, it's important for me because I want my horse to be happy working, but it's also important for very practical reasons. So when he's got a grumpy face on and he's got his head up and he's tense, then he's all tense under here using this lower bit of his neck. Which of course goes through the whole body. So when he has a nice soft expression and the neck comes here in a lovely curve and this under neck is floppy, that's always a good bit to look for, that the under neck's floppy, and we try to get him working in a nice horizontal balance. So he's still a bit looking for position. He can go up a bit too much and down a bit too much. So it's to keep going with that. Lots of transitions, always changing where the circle is. Lots of straight lines, little circles, bigger circles, circles inside the circles. And then always rewarding when we have the nice position that we're looking for by going into harmony with the horse. So taking all the pressure off and going with the horse so that we can go together. Stopping any action, so sometimes when he's got his head up, I can get a bit busy and do uncoordinated things that he might not, and then when he goes down with the head, and go with the flow and allow him to move. And especially the up transitions. So when I ask him to go, that he just smoothly goes up and forward and doesn't go, oh, all right then, boom, boom, boom. So that's what we are busy with. We're also doing some work in hand, and we are very much focused on the expression. It's not about what, it's about how. How is he doing everything? And I'm actually quite happy with progress. Biscuit, because old habits die hard, don't they? And of course that's both of us. So to have that hyper awareness on the moment, and also great practice for the feel and the timing. So when it feels right, to have the timing to go, now's when to have a little release, come back to walk, take the pressure off, go together. And then can I ask him to trot, with the tiniest gentle signal that he'll happily go up into trot. And of course, it's back to the old thing, being clear in my mind what I want, not thinking about other things. Very simple, very clear, so that the horse is not getting bombarded by all these thoughts going on. And when I've got a clear idea what I want, that intention's there, then just body language and energy should be enough. And then always stepping up if he doesn't listen, and stepping up. So he is listening, it's just having it with a nice expression. Would you like to demonstrate your nice expression, Morisco? Come forward a little bit and demonstrate your nice expression. Come on, there we go. There we go. Come and have a nice expression to the camera. There, can we have a nice expression? There. Sometimes just taking a pause. He's very aware of keeping Umo behind there under control. But that was a tiny little nice moment. Hey, Biscuit. Okay. Right, well, thank you for joining us today. I am going to get back on to doing the horses' stories more because I do love doing it. And with him, there's a whole thing about the biting thing, which is a really good demonstration and lesson. So thank you very much for joining us today. Those ears, Biscuit, those ears. There we go. Look, he's looking outside. He's a lot of thinking going on. Oh, maybe I better give Umo a bit of a warning. Oh, what's going on? Listening to her rabbit in a way, blah, blah, blah.